Alright, Brush Monkeys, welcome back. And we are wrapping up, well, not wrapping it up entirely. We're finishing up the figure itself this week of our Call for Help sculpt from Thorbjorn Barone. And as you recall, we did the base coats and some pre-shading and all that kind of thing with the airbrush last week. This week we're doing the finishing touches and all the little brush work and things that we want to do on here. Now you may have noticed that I put this red tape around the outside of it. All this is red painter's tape. And you'll see I put it very close along the edge, made sure I got the entire edge covered up. The reason for this is my two options for doing water effects on this thing were the Secret Weapon Realistic Water, which is really nice. This is kind of a brush on effect, and it's very subtly tinted blue. Like, let me show you on my palette. This is a little dot of this stuff right here, and you can see it's got a very nice clear blue color to it. However, as nice as this is, I was so happy with how the water came out on the figure that I didn't want to risk changing the color of that too much. So I'm not going to go with this one. Instead, I'm going to go with this Deluxe Materials Aqua Magic. And this is for modeling realistic water, it says. And this is really kind of a pour option. Like you see, it comes in a big bottle. This is a little brush on application for small spaces. This is a pour application for bigger spaces. So what I'm going to do is, I've got some matte white and a little bit of flow aid mixed together. I'm going to do some highlights on some of these ripples around there, just like little light spots on the ripples. And then I'm going to pour this stuff in it. And then all these places that you can see where it kind of oversprayed a little on the arm and on the legs and things like that, not going to matter at all. This is going to cover that up and make it look right. It's going to give some depth to the water and make it really look like she's sitting in water. The tape is to make sure this doesn't flow over the sides of the model and really look like garbage. When it's fully set up, there'll be maybe an 1/8 to a 1/16 of an inch of clear resin over the top of everything. Everything that's water, mind you. So I'm going to go ahead and do those light spots and pour this. And then when we come back, I'm going to let it sit for probably about a week. And then we'll come back and take a look at it, see how that's set up, and finish doing the brush work and what have you on this girl. Okay? So, see you in a little bit. Bye. Alright, Brush Monkeys, I just wanted to do a quick update. Bob Ross once said there's no such thing as mistakes, there's only happy accidents. And I think this is a prime example of what he was talking about. Now this is 24 hours, actually less than 24 hours, after I poured the Aqua Magic. So the surface is fairly well set. I don't know how deep set it is. I'm not going to go messing with it. I'm not going to pull the tape off and everything until it's been on there. Like I said, today is Sunday. I'm going to pull it off next Saturday. Give it a week to fully set up. And it's setting up really nicely now. But I noticed when I had this little anxiety attack yesterday because I noticed after I poured it, it started, I don't know if you can see this or not, but like, it started eating some of the ink that I had airbrushed onto it. All this all around here. I don't know if you can see that very well on the camera or not. But yeah, it started eating the ink. So, and I think the reason it did that is because before I poured the Aqua Magic, I should have sprayed the whole thing with gloss coat or matte coat, some kind of sealant, some kind of varnish, just to add a save point, and it wouldn't have done that. However, the way in which it did it looks like an oil painting. This looks like something that out of like oh crap, I can't think of his name now. Some of the old masters paintings look somewhat similar to this, and so I can't really be, I'm not really mad about it. It actually looks it looks really good. However, because I can't guarantee that yours will turn out like this, if you were to do the same thing, please, 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 when you get done airbrushing the inks, spray on a coat of varnish, and let that set up, and let the inks fully set up before you pour any kind of water effect on it, or I can't guarantee how this is going to turn out. Okay, like I said, I'm going to let this sit until next Saturday, and then we'll peel the tape off and see how it looks. But this is actually turning out better than I thought it would, and completely on accident. I have no idea what to do about that. Water Magic is shrinking a little bit, which is a little weird because it's like halfway up her face there, and then it's shrunk down to about a third that size, and same way up her body here. Nose, but it's looking better than I thought it would, and it's weird. It's kind of hard to show you how that looks because it's a very reflective surface, and so you get a lot of the light reflections. But yeah, it looks like there's a Waterhouse, Thomas Kincaid kind of painting. Yeah, don't, even though it's working out on mine, don't do what I did, and please, please, please use some varnish between layers. It'll not only act as kind of a safe point, but it'll protect your work up until then and keep this kind of thing from happening. This could have gone so much worse. If it had stripped the paint off too much more, I would have had to just go ahead and strip the entire thing and start it over again. And that would have been like 2 days worth of work just gone. So yeah, use varnish in between steps, please. Alright, see you soon. Bye. Alright, brush monkeys, we're back, and as you can see, I've peeled off the tape and trimmed the excess plastic, I guess, the Aqua Magic where it's set up. I didn't want to use the Secret Weapon realistic water on this because I was afraid the blue would tint the kind of bluish green that I got anyway and ruin those kind of weird effects. But I decided to go ahead and do it on this girl anyway, just because there was a couple of places, like right here, there's a little pit by her head. There's a little bit down here at the bottom by her leg where it looks like it ate enough of the ink that it was just showing the gray resin through there. And I didn't want to leave it like that. So I think I may have gotten a little too much up here, up at the top. But I'll just put a little more right there. There we go. That's going to take about 24 hours for that to dry fully. So some of the things we're going to have to do kind of around that. Sorry, this is pooling right here, and I don't know why. I had a little plastic pipette that I could pipe that out with. But there we go. That'll work. So yeah, so I've gone ahead and applied that on there, and we're going to let that dry, and then we'll go in and do some of the rest of it. I think some of it I can do while it's still like that. Some of the highlights with the I've got Master Series paint Fair Skin. I'm going to do some just very light highlights on there, just kind of where I touched with the airbrush, but also regular highlights. I've got Reichland Flesh Shade, which is just going to go in like her belly button, her underside of her breasts, underside of her chin, around the face, that kind of thing, just little bitty things. They're all going to be touched with a little bit of either Flow 8 or medium to thin them down a little bit, so it's not going to be quite as stark. Do Casador yellow to shade the hair. I've got golden blonde to paint on her hair. Her eyes, I haven't quite decided what to do with her eyes. I don't know if she's... It kind of looks like her eyes are open, but one of them's kind of underwater. So I think what I might do is... I'm kind of toying with the idea of maybe doing the eyes as white with like kind of light gray pupils, like the blind eye. I haven't entirely made up my mind on that yet, but I think that's probably what I'm going to end up doing. In which case I'll use ivory for the iris, or excuse me, for the sclera, Ulthorn gray for the iris, and then this heavy blue gray for the pupil. The outside edge all around here is going to get Vallejo glossy black, and then once I matte seal it, it'll put some gloss coat on there. But yeah, so far so good. It's coming along pretty nicely. So go ahead and give that a little time to dry up, and then we'll come back and get on that. All right, see you soon. Bye. All right, brush monkeys, we've made a little bit of progress here, so I wanted to show you what I've done. I layered the skin with the fair skin and a little bit of the Reichland flesh shade mixed with Lamian medium, and some of the shading came out a little bit darker than I would have liked, down around her hips, between her breasts, things like that. Some of it turned out perfectly. The face came out awesome. I'm not entirely happy with how it's come out. There's still a little couple of places, like on the ribs there, that are a little dark. When the water effect dries, I want to take the Reichland flesh shade and kind of go around at the water line just to give it a little bit of kind of crap, I can't think of what they call it now when a body's been laying in one position and all the blood pours to one side. But that's what I'm going to try to do with that. I did take a little bit of Eldar flesh here and just did a really light dry brush. I used one of these big makeup brushes to kind of dry brush all over. I think that turned out really nicely. I think it kind of toned down a lot of those starker shadows and things. I brought the skin tone back to where I wanted it. I thought the fair skin was a little bit much for this. So I'm going to let all this dry. The brown rose that turned out to be perfect for her lip turned out to be a little bit much for her nipples. Kind of like bright pink standing out there. So I'm going to let that dry, and then probably take a little bit more of the Eldar flesh, dry brush it over those to kind of tone that down a little bit. And kind of try to do another layer to sort of tone down the flesh overall. I did shade wash the hair. I'm going to probably paint the hair next, try to paint a little bit of the eyes. I got the sclera of the eyes painted. And I just got to do the iris and the pupil. Hopefully I can do it in that scale. I don't paint eyes a whole lot, but yeah, she's coming along pretty nicely. I also still need to dry brush the plants here, so I'll probably do that next. But for right now, I'm going to let that dry and come back to it in a little bit. All right, see you soon. Alright, brush monkeys, we're back, and as you can see, I've made some more progress on our girl here. I think I toned down the nipples a little bit. Also dry brushed the plants, which both took some of that shine away and also kind of gave it that brushstroke look. Also painted the hair, layered the hair with the pale blonde, and gave it a dry brush of Hexios Pale Sun, just kind of brighten it up a little bit. So it looks really good. Finished painting her eyes. See if I can zoom in there. Yeah, those kind of blind dead eyes. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how she's turning out. It still kind of looks like a an oil painting. I touched up some of the water effects. I had gotten some fingerprints on there, but I think it's okay now. So yeah, all that's left is to go ahead and paint this base band here. You can see where the paint took off some little bits of it, but that's alright. So I'm going to go ahead and break out the glossy black here and paint that, and the next time you see this girl, I think she's going to be completely done. I'm going to, well, I take that back. I'm going to break out the glossy black for the base band, then I'm going to seal the entire thing in matte seal, then go back over the water with gloss coat, just to, and go back over the water and the rim with gloss coat just to kind of bring that shine back out. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and paint it in the glossy black, and then we'll come back and take a look at her, and then I'll finish her up with the varnish. Alright, see you soon. Bye. Alright, brush monkeys, we are back, and we are done with Call for Help. You see I got all the edges gloss coated. Got the matte seal put on there, and I also got the water gloss coated. So it's looking all nice, and you can see the difference between the gloss coat and the matte coat. And she looks pretty good. Dead girl in the water. So we're going to go ahead and take her off the handle here because we're done painting her. And next week we're going to get into paint. We're going to wrap up this video for painting her. Next week we're going to get into finishing the decorative base she's going to be put on. And like I said, she's going to put on right about like that on there. And I think that's going to look really nice when it's done. So we'll get into everything you need to do on this next week. All right. In the meantime, thanks for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye. Hey Brush Monkeys, Tom from Flying Monkey Studios here. If you like what you see, click like down below. If you want to be notified when new videos come out, click subscribe. And in the meantime, if you want to see how to add one of the miniatures that we've painted on this channel to your own collection, check out our Instagram, Tumblr, and Patreon sites. If you want to support us in doing what we do, check out my Patreon site, check out my merch store at storefrontier.com/flymonkeystudios. You can get t-shirts, sweatshirts, long sleeve shirts, hoodies, all kinds of stuff there. Go check that out. And in the meantime, thanks for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye.